So last time gave us a flashback about a usually reliable character and proceeded to suck horribly. Let's see if Jin and Sun can avoid the same fate. It's shortly after their wedding, and Sun is approached by a woman who tells her that not only is Jin's father a fisherman, his mother is a prostitute, and she wants a bunch of money to keep that a secret. And it happens to be that very night that Jin makes a mistake in his story about his father being dead. What are the odds? Sun tracks down Jin's father, who says it's all true and he wasn't even sure the baby was his, and she shouldn't never tell Jin she met him, so there's that plot hole plugged up. And it really feels like this scene exists mostly so the writers can point to it and say, see, we don't say all fathers are terrible people. Although at this point it's really just the exception that proves the rule. Sun gets the money by blackmailing her father over being a gangster, but he gets his back by saying that it's Jin who'll pay it back by becoming a thug for him. So Sun was actually responsible for what Jin ended up doing. Sure, it's a bit retconny, but this is still a great twist on their relationship. Jin immediately finds out about the money because of a very stupid slip on Sun's part. I can buy the one we had from Jin, but you'd think someone as practiced at lying as we learn Sun is in this very episode could do a better job than this. She says she'll give it back, but gives it to the woman who she's figured out is actually Jin's mother, the whore, and threatens to kill her if she ever pops up again. And apparently it works because this never comes up again. Now that Jack knows about the problems with pregnancies on the island, he checks to see how Sun is doing. And being the moron that he is, he's not subtle about it at all, and immediately clues her in that there's something she should be worried about. Desmond's group finds that the mystery woman has a branch stuck in her gut, and then Hurley shoots a flare that lets the others know where they are. Stupid fat people can't do anything right, am I right? Back on the beach, it turns out Jack was so bad at being casual about the pregnancy thing that Sun now thinks he's working with the others to steal her baby. That is some epic fail there, Jack. Kate tells her about Juliet working with this kind of thing, so Juliet is forced to tell her about the upcoming horrible death. And then Kate makes her walk away before she can get any explanation for that, for absolutely no reason I can see, except people on this show hate answers in any form. Team Desmond is still just sitting around arguing about what to do when suddenly someone arrives, none other than Mikhail, or as I shall now think of him, Patrick Troughton Mikhail. Although I think this would actually fit just as well for the running gag I'm going to be making from this.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Pete. Weren't you killed in a gunfight?
I was only gut shot. I healed. I'm stronger now with less appetite.
I should also point out that while we don't get an answer in this episode for how he survived having his brain melted, there is one later, so that's not going on the list. He promptly runs away, but Jin has a pretty kick-ass fight scene to near Saeed levels and finally beats him.
You've got 5 seconds to talk. Why fire this gun, brother?
That's a flare gun.
And how do you think you'll feel? Taking a flare to the chest at this range?
Bravo to the show's real hero. Mikhail bargains that he can save the mystery woman, okay, her name's Naomi and it doesn't matter much anyway, if they let him live. Juliet wakes up Sun with the old block off the air approach because that's sure to get her some trust. She says there's still hope if Sun's baby was conceived off the island and they need to go to the staff to find out. Hurley is stupid enough to tell Mikhail about Naomi's phone, to which even Charlie gives him a look that says, I can't believe how dumb you are. The voice of the audience, ladies and gentlemen. They manage to save Naomi, and there's a neat bit where Mikhail translates her statement in Portuguese as thank you, but if you actually speak Portuguese, you know she really said, I am not alone. It's always pretty cool to get this kind of bonus. Juliet and Sun get to the staff, and Juliet opens a secret passage to where all the equipment is, explaining why Kate and everyone else didn't find it when they came here. It really is nice when they take the time to cover up plot holes like this because it's really not something you can count on with this show. Desmond lets Mikhail go like he promised, but Mikhail tries to steal the phone, and Jin is the only one who spots it. They really are trying to wreck Desmond for us, aren't they? I guess they thought it was just too threatening to Jack's status as the perfect hero, what with Jack swearing up and down that bringing Juliet to the camp was a perfectly good idea. Sun reveals to Juliet that Jin is infertile, and Juliet says that being on the island might have changed that. And here's the explanation she gives.
Did you know that the average male sperm count is between 60 and 80 million? But on this island, it's 5 times that.
Just one problem there. 5 times 0 is still 0. So, yeah, it's just magic, and this attempt to pretend this is based in any way on real science just makes it worse. The ultrasound reveals that the baby was conceived on the island and it's going to kill her, but Sun's still happy that it's Jin's. It's almost enough to make you forget that kid's going to grow up an orphan after the show is over. And Juliet leaves a tape about the whole thing for Ben in case we forgot what she's here for. Charlie says that Mikhail will probably be back soon with more others to kill them all, prompting a quite jaw-dropping line from Desmond.
You know, brother, by my count, you killed more of them than they've killed of you.
And whose fault is that? You can't exactly wage a war of terror on people for months and then complain when they fight back. But no, it's clear that we're supposed to take this line seriously and consider it more evidence that the others are really the good guys. Desmond, you know I love you. I really hate to say it, but you are the one who needs to shut up more than Charlie right now. Think about that. Naomi wakes up and drops the bombshell that Flight 815 was actually found with no survivors. A pretty good cliffhanger in that you really have no idea what it means and it will actually get a good explanation later. Kudos.
What?
My score for DOC is 9 out of 10. Jin and Sun's story is as reliable as always, and though this flashback is pretty superfluous overall, finding out that Sun herself got Jin involved in her father's dirty work is another good touch to their relationship. The stuff with Sun's baby works very well, since either option would have resulted in some juicy material, so there was actual suspense over how it would turn out. Unfortunately, the Desmond story has some really forced writing bits that keep this from being one of the greats.